Who's hungry? The deli's open. Hey guys, Marco D'Angelo here for another edition of Marco's Deli, powered by WagerTalk.com. We've had 7 episodes so far, 5 winning weeks, 1 losing week, and 1 break-even week. Let's keep the deli rolling along as we've got 5 more winners for you this week. And I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have really helped the channel out. Give us those thumbs up. It helps the channel a lot, guys. And leave me a comment. I love you guys have been telling me where you're watching from. I love getting to know you guys. I try to drop into the comments and answer all your questions. So be sure to keep doing that, guys. I appreciate it. Now let's get on to this week's winners. Let's start with the first one. And Alabama at South Carolina. Now, I know you guys don't want to step in front of Alabama. I can't blame you. But here's what I'm going to say. We're taking South Carolina. We're going to trust the process and the situation. Alabama is on the road at South Carolina this week after playing a big revenge game last week against Tennessee. They got the win. If you remember, a couple weeks ago, they had a big revenge game against Vanderbilt. Well, they got that taken care of, and then the following week, they struggled, just got by Missouri by 3 points. Now, I'm not going to try to compare South Carolina and Missouri. Obviously, Missouri is a better team, but we're looking at a big number here. We're seeing a number of 12. Now, we also have a situation, not only is Alabama coming off that big satisfying win, but look who they play next. They have LSU. This is a classic sandwich letdown look-ahead spot for Alabama. You've got South Carolina coming off an ugly loss. They lost 26-7 to Oklahoma. They're catching 12 here. Now, as good as Alabama's been playing, and South Carolina coming off a blowout loss last week, would you really have been surprised if this number would have been 13.5 or 14? No, you wouldn't have thought anything of it. The fact that it's sitting at 12 tells me they're trying to get you to take a little bit of that Alabama and lay the points. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and take South Carolina here. This is a good spot for them. I don't think they're going to be able to upset Alabama. I'm not saying that, but I am saying this game's going to be a lot closer than people think. Let's go and take South Carolina plus 12 for game number 1. Game number 2, we're going to take a look at BYU at Iowa State. Now, BYU's coming off a monster win in their last game. It was a big rivalry game. It's called the Holy War, BYU and Utah. These two teams don't like each other. It's a big rivalry. And BYU was able to escape with a 3-point win. Now you've got an undefeated BYU team where their stock couldn't be any higher right now. They're ranked 11th in the country, and they're an underdog on the road to Iowa State, who's got 2 losses. What's up with that? That should be your first red flag. But what really sets this up is coming off of that Utah game, which, as I said, is a huge rivalry game. Look at who BYU has next. They've got Texas Tech. Now, Texas Tech is the darling of the Big 12. We know that they spent all that money this year with the NILs to get the top players to go to Texas Tech, and it's paying dividends for them. That's a big showdown game. Now, I will point out that game is in 2 weeks, not next week. BYU does have a bye next week, which tapers it a little bit, but still, you're coming off your biggest rivalry game against Utah, and you've got a monster game on deck, and you're playing an Iowa State team that's got 2 losses. How do you really get totally focused for this one? Iowa State, those 2 losses, I can understand how they happened. They had a gut-wrenching loss to Cincinnati 2 games ago. It was a shootout, 38-30. Could have went either way. They lose that game. And how many times have I told you, when a team loses a big game or loses that first game of the season, oftentimes they come out flat the next week. They can lose the same game twice. And we were on their opponent. Colorado upset them. Now they've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. I see them getting the job done here. I'm going to go ahead. You've got an unranked team laying 2.5 to a ranked team that's undefeated. Something's wrong there. We're going to go ahead and take Iowa State minus 2.5 for play number 2. Play number 3 in the deli this week. We're going to take a look at Missouri at Vanderbilt. Now, Vanderbilt, after playing Alabama and LSU in back-to-back weeks, has Texas on deck. This makes this a classic sandwich spot for them. Missouri was able to come from behind and beat Auburn last week in overtime. Now, Missouri came out flat last week after the gut-wrenching loss to Alabama the week before, 27-24. I'll be honest, I was on Auburn in that game because I thought they were going to lose the same game twice. Well, they almost did. They were flat as a pancake at the beginning of that game, first half, and they didn't rally until the fourth quarter, sent it into overtime, and then they were able to get the win in overtime. This tells me how good this Missouri team actually is. They didn't play their best game, and yet they still found a way to win the game last week. I think they're in a spot here where they can get Vanderbilt in a right spot coming off of back-to-back big games and another big game on deck. And we've got a very good defense with Missouri. Now, we know how good the Vanderbilt offense is. They're averaging 31 points or more, I think, in 6 of their 7 games. But they're going to be facing one of the best defenses they've seen all year. Missouri is averaging just 17 points per game defensively this year, allowing just 17 points per game. I'm going to go ahead, give me the better defense, getting points against the team in a bad scheduling spot. Sign me up every time. Give me Missouri plus the 2.5. Now, before we get to the final 2 games, just a little bit of business to take care of. I already asked you guys to give me that thumbs up. That really helps the channel out. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you don't want to miss any of these videos, hit the subscribe button. It's free. It'll let you know every time there's a new video available at WagerTalk. Also, guys, if you like the way I do these videos and you want to jump on board and get my premium plays, we've got a couple offers this week. As always, we got that Weekend Warrior package. It's $49. You can get all of my plays Saturday and Sunday in football. We're going to have a couple big plays over the weekend. Our 4% and higher plays in college football this year, 11-4. We already have 4% loaded for Saturday. There's going to be another big play, and it's quite possibly going to be a 5% play. Don't miss out. Head on over to WagerTalk.com. You can sign up. Just $49 will get you the Weekend Warrior package. But you want all of my plays? Well, we've got a deal for you too. In fact, this deal is site-wide. You can get it for any of the cappers at WagerTalk. You can pick up the rest of 2025. That's right. Every play, every sport through December 31st for just $590. That's just $59 a week, guys. And I just told you about that Weekend Warrior package. That's $49 for a weekend, and you're just getting the football, college and pro. If you want to get everything, $10 more, $59 it averages out per week. Pick up that $590 rest of 2025 package right now at WagerTalk. And guys, NBA just started. We're 1-0 already on the NBA season. We are the #1 NBA handicapper since 2020, making our clients over 193 units. Profit, #1 at WagerTalk in NBA, #1 in hockey since 2021 as well in Money One. You'll get every play I release the rest of the season for that $590 price. All right, enough about that. Let's get right back to the action. One more college play for you and then one NFL play. College play, we're going to look at Toledo at Washington State. This one falls into both a trap and a sandwich game. Washington State just played 3 in a row on the road. They covered all 3 games. Now, playing 3 in a row on the road is tough for any team. It's even more tough for Washington State having to travel across the country. As you know, they are one of the 2 orphans of the Pac-12, the other one being Oregon State, when everybody abandoned the conference to go to other conferences. So Washington State's got to schedule whoever they can get, and they've been traveling all over the country, crisscrossing back and forth. That takes its toll. Now they're back at home for 1 game, and they're playing Toledo. Well, if you look at those 3 games they played on the road, they covered all 3 games. They went 1-2 straight up, but they covered all 3 of them. They got a win at Colorado State to start that 3-game road trip, and then they had back-to-back near upsets. They went to Ole Miss as a 33-point underdog and just missed, losing by 3 points. I got to point out that they probably caught Ole Miss looking right past them, because Ole Miss had Georgia up next. And 33-point favorite, well, they almost got caught with their pants down. Then Washington State the very next week goes to Virginia as a 16-point underdog and only loses by 2. Now, I can say this much for you. Keep making those big games like that and just coming up short, that's going to take its toll. But after playing all those big-name teams, Ole Miss in Virginia, now they're returning home to play a MAC school, Toledo. Do you think they're going to have the same intensity? And do you think those other schools looked past Washington State? Absolutely they did. Do you think Toledo, a MAC team, is going to look past them? No, this is a big game for them. Even though they're traveling cross-country to play Washington State, it is a name school, okay? Just a couple years removed from the Pac-12. So a win in Washington State would be huge for Toledo. And when you look at the stats of these two teams, Toledo has the better offense and Toledo has the better defense. And they're getting 1.5. And that 1.5 smells fishy too, guys. That's where the trap part comes in. If Washington State has played as well as they have the last 3 weeks, and now they're returning home, why in the world are they only a 1.5-point favorite? They're begging you to take Washington State. I'm not falling for it. We're going to take Toledo in this spot. And oh, by the way, I forgot to mention the sandwich part. Guess who Washington State plays next? Oregon State. You might say, so what? Well, that's their buddy, their fellow orphan of the Pac-12. That's a big game for them. I'm going to go with Toledo to get the win in Washington State. Go ahead and take Toledo plus 1.5. And for the final play of this week's Deli, we're going to go to the NFL. And boy, the NFL has been good to us here on Marco's Deli. 6-1 for the season with the Deli plays. Let's see if we can make it 7-1. And you might have to hold your nose, guys, because you're not going to like it. But it is the New York Jets. They are 0-7. I get it. But 0-7 straight up. They're actually 3-4 against the spread. All right. And they've played probably as bad as you could possibly play. And they're 3-4 against the spread. They've got absolutely no production from the quarterback position after the first week of the season. Enter Tyrod Taylor. He is set to replace Justin Fields. He did get banged up in relief last week, but all indications as of now, and we're taping this on Thursday morning, is that he is going to start on Sunday. So we're making this play with him as the starter. And the best thing for a team that is struggling the way the Jets have this year, being 0-7, is to go out on the road. And I know that sounds crazy, but here's why. When things aren't going bad and you're playing at home, you're getting booed. Okay. Nobody wants to get booed. Okay. Especially in their own stadium. You also have to listen to the local media and talk shows every single day. The reporters are there covering the team, asking the same questions, 15 different ways. What's wrong with the team? This and that. Get out on the road. You don't have to deal with that. Also, when you're on the road, the players get to bond more. You're hanging out more with the players. Okay. And this is a spot where they're going to play a Cincinnati team that's coming off their season high. Beating the Steelers last week on Thursday Night Football with Joe Flacco making his second start was huge. Now, everybody's going to look at that and say, if Joe Flacco could do what he did to the Steelers, what's it going to do to the Jets? Well, first of all, Joe Flacco always does that to the Steelers. That's one of the reasons why last week for my clients, we had a monster play on the game to go over the total. What an easy winner that was, 33-31. The Jets defense actually has played good this season. And as I said, they have to. If they're 0-7 and they're 3-4 against the spread, they have played good. And I think they're going to contain Cincinnati enough to stay in under this inflated number. And then let's talk about Cincinnati. they still have a horrible defense. Pittsburgh scored 31 points on them last week. Pittsburgh hasn't been scoring a lot of points. That tells you also how bad Cincinnati is. I think the Jets get enough in this game to cover this 6.5. Now, I usually tell you, grab a game right away because the line's going to move, and it's probably going to move against us. Sitting at 6.5, if it goes against us and goes to 6, we really don't lose anything. But if we wait till the public gets involved on the weekend, strong possibility this game gets to 7. And that's worth waiting for. So officially, I'm giving it out today on Thursday. The line is 6.5. I think if you wait, you'll be able to get a 7 on Sunday. But we're giving it out today at 6.5. That's what it will be graded at. Take the New York Jets as the NFL play this week from Marco's Deli. Guys, thank you for tuning in. I really do appreciate you guys. We'll be back next week with it. I want to hear from you in the comment section. I'll stop by. I'll answer all your questions. Tell me where you're from. Tell me what plays you like. Tell me what games I'm full of shit on. I don't care. We want to talk about it. And I appreciate you guys truly, and I love all the comments. I will see you next week at Marco's Deli. And as always, good luck, and let's cash some tickets.